China's trade data beat market expectations across the board in the month of May, with shipments to the US seeing a strong bounce. External demand continued to be one of China's key growth engines this year, but higher imports could cut into the trade surplus going forward. China's exports rose by 19.3% in May from a year ago, up from 14.1% in April, and well above market forecast of 15%. The increase marked a 3-month high and brought the year-to-date export growth to 15.5%. By export destination, the big story for May was a strong rebound of exports to the US, which rose to 35.4% from a year ago. That is the highest growth level since 2021. This recovery is primarily a base effect story rather than a reflection of Trump's visit to China. Recall that May last year marked the peak of US-China trade war, when additional tariffs on China surged to 125%. This effect will likely weaken starting with next month's data. We'll start to get a more realistic look at trade in the months ahead under the current tariff environment. The recovery we have seen in the last 2 months brought year-to-date exports to the US to minus 2.7%. If we see exports return to positive growth this year, it will remove the biggest drag on China's exports from last year. Tangible trade deliverables looked rather limited after Trump's visit to China. Announcements focused on restoring agricultural purchases to normal levels, moves to establish a trade board and adopt a constructive strategic ability and the stability approach to bilateral relations could help both sides avoid major trade clashes like last year. There is hope that we will see further trade breakthroughs before or after President Xi's possible visit to the US in September. Looking at other areas, exports to South Korea were also strong at 42.1% as tech trade has accelerated. China also saw strong export growth to ASEAN at 24.3% and Russia at 35.8%. The key laggards were exports to the EU at 7.6% and Japan at 10.9%. But the latest data once again showed external demand has been a key bright spot for China amid fairly lackluster domestic activity data. It looks like the gap is widening.